So tonight, we're looking at to act more responsibly with our money. And what we'd like to do is to go around and look at the issues that you have that have been brought up with what's happened in this last few years. Some it's within months, some it's actually within weeks. So if we go around and we would examine the issues together, what is it that concerns you about acting more responsibly, and it says with our money? What issues have come up before you, your thoughts that you have, and if you look at your brochure, it talks about also the consequences. So what are the issues that concern you about acting responsibly with our money today? Yes, sir, Dave?
Well, I come up here to honor the town, not the town board, but the town. The people that go to the meetings there. And I see a lot of waste here, a lot of money. They just spent $38,000 to California. I practically got down on my hands and knees. I'm talking about the town board. I'm talking to the town meetings. And I practically got down on my hands and knees to beg them people to keep that money in Pahrump. We got a good college over here, the best in the country as far as I'm concerned. I don't care what anybody says. I got a mind of my own. But they didn't listen to me. They sent that money over there, and we didn't get anything out of it. The guy come over here, I call him a bunch of hippies out of that Berkeley College over there, flashed a bunch of pictures on the wall, and that's all we got out of it. Some guy down here at the Nugget said he's going to chip in $19,000, and he didn't come up with the money. He went to Hong Kong. No, Thailand. And that's one of the things that makes me mad. And then they,
what issue here is what we're looking at? What choices do we face today about putting our money aside? This is the issue. How are we going to focus our security?
oh, I'm 81 years old. I got my security as far as that goes. I don't beg nothing off anybody.
If I can do just for 2 seconds, it seems to me it's a matter of evaluating expectations at this point, or reevaluating them. There was a time when you didn't have to make as many serious choices about the things that you bought. I mean, cars were available, houses were available, food. You didn't have to decide between groceries or prescriptions. And at this point, because of the a pervasive lack of jobs across the economy, it's hard to find people who aren't making those kinds of decisions regardless of their age. My daughter's 24. She's making those decisions. I'm 59. I'm making those decisions. I know there's people older and younger that are doing the same things, and those are harder decisions to make than we've had to make, I think, in our lifetime here in the United States. Growing up in the 40s and the 50s, I think that things were just easier, or we had lower expectations. I'm not sure what it is. I just know that now my expectations are a lot lower.
Okay. I was a teacher, home economics teacher in high school, and my favorite course was financial planning. And I had speakers come in, consumer credit counselors, bankers, insurance people, people who were familiar with renting or buying homes, high school. And these courses were all crossed out. And I went through a terrific burnout. We were teaching those things, and I watched Clinton as a president telling us that we should be teaching these things in the schools. I almost could break my television because we were teaching those things. It was a senior, boys and girls, and it was just a terrific class. They were always full. And we needed that because they weren't getting budgeting at home. They didn't have any ideas about what their parents had, how much money they had, or how many bills they had, and what the spending was like. Maybe some of them had, what do you call the money children get for doing chores? That's my frontal lobe. Allowances, yes. I'm an old lady. Some children have that, and they learn in very, very small ways. But this is something that they're talking about teaching in the schools. And absolutely, it should start when they're little, not high school like I did. But debts and use of credit cards, the whole thing, yes.
In this economic situation that we find ourselves today, how has it impaired you or your family? Do you consider where you were 5 years ago and where you are today? Is there an impasse?
Do we need this mic all the time? We do. Okay. Yes, and in my young teaching days, I taught the general business course you're describing in home economics, so I really identify. But in response to Ron's question, Raylene put me on allowance. You know, when we retired at 59 and we had a retirement guy sit down and say, you have enough money to last you till the age of 94, and we said, whoa, I'm not sure we do, and we probably didn't. But that same nest egg is gone today. We walked out of Reno, our children are still up there. We put a tremendous amount of money down into a new home 5 years ago. That money's gone. That was part of our retirement. So, and I don't exaggerate it when I say that we are back to where Raylene has put me on an allowance. I'm not used to it yet. I don't really like it. But I think we're at a time when we have to do those things. Do you suppose?
So the question is how do we act more responsibly with our money today?
Well, this isn't really following your question, but one of the things that I've found recently is that it seems like we're going through a lot of swings, and it's hard to plan. Right now, there is just tremendous talk about inflation, and I'm in the construction industry. I've gone through hard times this last 3 years. I'm an architect, so I got hit in 2007 with the downturn, head of most construction. And so now I'm facing a situation with trying to decide what is best to do in case of inflation next year. Should I pay off credit card debt, or should I allow inflation to help ease that situation? Should I sell a house that's paid for in order to pay off the credit cards, or would it be best, if we do have inflation, to stay in this house and then worry about food? So it seems like I'm trying to guess the future more, where I'm 55. And so I was just a young kid during the Carter into the Reagan presidency, when we had the stagflation and the high unemployment. I was pretty young, and I was able to get through that okay. And since then, it's been a pretty easy guess of what's going to happen. But then 2007 came, and things changed, and now all we're doing is guessing. And I feel uncomfortable about that.
Good evening. My name's Al Balakwi. Actually, I work for the town. I do the community business economic development. And I've worked for the town for 2 years. But for the other 55 years of my life, or say 40 years of my life, I've been self-employed and ran and operated my own business. Coming to the other side of the counter for the first time is rather astounding to me. And what the question was is that being more responsible for our money. And a lot of people say we need to do this, we need to do that. Well, saying things and doing things are not always the same cut. But there are things that we can do, and this is not an indictment or a criticism on anybody, is what I'm sharing with you now, is I think our public municipality, the town and the county, needs to be more accountable in the decisions that they make. They are so entrenched with not thinking in a business sense. The hottest thing in economic development, I just came back from the international conference in Columbus, is PPP, 3 Ps, public-private partnerships. The way things have been in the past are not going to be the way they are in the future. And if we try to hold on to that, we'll just be fooling ourselves. And everything that we do as a public entity, or what I would see as the town does, is they have to quantify what they're doing on what type of return that it brings back, and a total accountability on what they're doing. In the past, that wasn't necessary. And it's nobody's fault. Believe me, it's nobody's fault. It's just the nature of the way municipalities have been set up. If your budget's this and you don't spend all your money, you get less money next year. Actually, they should say, if you don't spend all your money, we're going to give you more money to see what more you could do and not spend more. You know, the incentive is a little bit upside down. And, you know, we've all maybe heard that, but now being in the middle of it and seeing it, there are tremendous ways our local government can make dramatic changes in being more thrifty and more efficient and more effective. And I want to close with this, is that why that's so important, other than the practical sense of what I'm saying, and I hope you see the sense in what I'm saying, is that today businesses look at the local municipality and the 3 Ps, private-public partnership, on who they're getting in bed with, who they're joining with. You know, a company coming here is looking how efficient and effectively our local municipality works, because once they move their factory, their workers, or that small mom and pop $20, $30 million company comes in, they're stuck here, you know. So it's not only important because of the efficiency of doing that, but it's important in the ability to attract other businesses to come to a community that is proactive, outside the box, let the traditions fall by the side, and are looking for new and inventive ways, because we're all in the same community. You know, we're all brothers and sisters, and what happens to me affects you, and what happens to you affects me. And that's business as well as municipalities. And that's the change we need to do to become more thrifty. Thank you.
Al brought up a good point. What about personal responsibility for our future? Do we have a part in that also with our government and with ourselves?
My name is Lana Harrison. I haven't been to this town as a permanent residence. I am a snowbird, but I definitely see what's going on. And I read the paper, the checks that were issued out of for our people that represent us, and that was astounding to me. I don't see how our fellow followers, our fathers of our city, can understand what we are going through when their paycheck is so much above ours. They cannot possibly understand what we live every day. So our budgets are greatly different from theirs. And as I speak about this, I also am concerned about the spending that our whole nation is doing for all of these earmarks and buying votes. That just hurt my feelings so bad last November, or a year or so ago, almost 2 years ago, when all the people that wanted to get their vote out bought it, you know, and to me that's called bribes. Same way with the health care. So many people were bribed to get the vote for health care. No one wanted health care, not the way it was written. We all want it, we all need it, but not the way it was written. And they had to buy votes to get it. And all that money was going to state after state that had a very good cause or a very good reason, whether it was, you know, getting a bridge built for ants or whatever it was. It was different things, silly little things like that got money for their town, and when other people needed it so badly. And so that therefore they could not relate to us that are on a budget and must live within our budget. And with health care prices going up on the increase, prices going down that for our homes and things like